Now, before I introduce our guests, I'd like to introduce the CEO of Two's Company, Bobby Gottlieb, and the president of Two's Company, Tom Gottlieb, to welcome us all.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us again. I can't believe it's only 2 weeks since we met last, and what a 2-week period. In my whole long life, I have never been through such a roller coaster or seen so much change. So from the horror of George Floyd to today, when there's some hope in our country for real change, it's been a lot to absorb. And Tom and I and the company stand firmly behind all of those who seek equality and demand justice. And we have listened a lot, and we hope to learn a lot and to change our lens a bit. And, our company has been very active, very supportive of an organization called the Innocence Project over the years. And we've been fortunate enough to meet some of the people that have been exonerated by the Innocence Project. And I was really impressed because from the time it started, it was dedicated to social equality and justice in our courts and so forth. And there's something on Netflix that I think you might really enjoy it in, and at the same time change your perspective. And it is the Innocence Project, and they have a series of stories about people they've helped. And it really is a much broader story that they tell. So we're all watching Netflix a lot, and I urge you to watch that too. So I think what we've learned through this whole period is, not just in business, but in everything we touch and everything in our society, that we really depend upon each other in community. So here's to our little gift community, and who is also having some problems, but many of which are within our control. And I'm really looking forward to these two guys who I find really creative, who have opened their stores for a couple of weeks, who are like seniors in the experience of opening stores under these conditions. And I'm sure that they're going to help us a lot. And I hope all of you in the audience will also share your experiences. Tom?
Hi. So, we're here in New York, and we're kind of at the epicenter of COVID and closed down and things like that. But clearly, there are lots of parts of the country that have opened up, and we certainly see a lot of hope and activity, and it varies throughout the country. But I know David and Mark. I've been in both of their stores, and they are premium retailers and super creative, and in a normal way, or in a normal time. And I think that we can all really be inspired because they continue to reinvent themselves and to work on ways at connecting. I think they're both very attached to their communities, in terms of, and that's what I think independent brick and mortar retail is about. It's touching our the local customers and connecting with the community. And I think many of you have certainly taken advantage of that and firmed up those relationships with social media, and just touching them in all interesting ways. So we really enjoyed these town halls in the past few months, to gather and share information to help each other. This is an incredible time for our industry, and I love that people are really helping each other, helping a retailer down the block, or helping someone nearby. I think never before have we seen such collaboration, and as a change, and amongst all the other changes, I think the change to get everyone together and share is just inspiring and wonderful. So having said that, I'll turn it back over to TZ, and let's get going.
All right. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Bobby. Before we get started, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our guests, our host. Tom mentioned a little bit about them. David Fisher is the proprietor and lead designer for Zazud in St. Petersburg, Florida. His style brings together both new and vintage pieces, reimagining key pieces to fit into the style of any decor. He takes his inspiration from his love of the beach and life itself. Mark Coulter is the proprietor of Christopher's in Kirkwood, Missouri. Christopher's is described as the place for gift giving, for discovering that hard-to-find, one-of-a-kind item, a little bit of everything for the home, for the body, for the memories. And indeed, memories can be made here. Welcome, gentlemen. It's great to have both of you here with us today. Earlier this week, we had what I like to call our dress rehearsal for the event. And as usual, when you get together very creative people, it's a celebration of sorts. So I would like to start here this morning referring to an article that appeared in a couple of weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal. It was an article about Scott. And she said something I thought was very interesting. If it wasn't for the recession of 2008, we wouldn't be chatting today. These moments that you cannot plan on sometimes are the ones that are going to make you a better company. So I thought that to start us off, maybe we could just talk a little bit about how these cards that we've been dealt recently, how you've pivoted and made some changes maybe in the way you do your business.
Absolutely. David,
Mark, you want to start?
Okay. I always say when the times get tough, you learn the most, and you always find those wins. What can you make the best of something if there's a negative, there should always be a positive, or hopefully a triple positive. And making number one, as today's experience, the guest experience safe, sound, and I think back in 2008, as I was more in a family business setting, not my own businesses, is that you have to listen to your community, as both Toms have said, and really see what's trending, and how you can take those negatives and turn them into positives. Because life's short, as we know, and let's make those positives.
I would agree. I think that obviously during the shutdown, we had to really take a look at our business and say, what can we do differently? How can we bring a personalized experience to people via the internet and via our social media channels? So we really focused our energy on an employee within our store that most of our customers or guests know that really we utilize throughout the store and on our social media to promote product. They look for him for suggestions, things of that sort. We call him Peanut, but his real name's John. And all the customers know him as Peanut, and they call him Peanut when he walks down the street and see him. And though we're a big city, we have a small town feel. And so we started immediately reacting to the shutdown, and we had what we called Peanut's Power Hour, where it was really an hour of live social media of selling product online, and adjusted quickly. And since reopening, I would say that some of the biggest changes we've made are we use Peanut's personality more, his personality and his persona more online than we even did before. So we've integrated him into our new platform for online sales. We've integrated him into a plan for using him around the holidays for a Peanut Power Hour, on a quarterly basis, because they were so popular and people loved them. We talk about how messy they could get behind the scenes or in front of the camera, but that's what people love, because it made a real experience for the customers. It made us appear real, and and humorous, and people liked that. And so the messier they got, the more they liked them and the more they bought. So they were very successful for us. We had to reinvent ourselves. We weren't a big online seller before. We are more of an online seller, but we continue. It's forced me to look at the business and say, how can we be bigger with that and better with that? And so we've done more research around the topic, how to get better at that. And we're about to launch a new online site that will incorporate kind of all the things that we've learned so that we're better prepared for the future and to set us up, you know, even for more sales than we already do in store. So we've been open about 3 weeks now. This is our third week to be open. And there are some days are slow, and then other days that we are up versus prior years. So there's no logic in it other than I think people get stir crazy and sick of being at home and they need to get out. And so, you know, it's mainly our regular customers coming in because our tourist industry, which we're a big tourist town, is obviously limited based on what's happening throughout the country. So
if I could just interrupt for a second, if you're not on stage currently, or you might want to mute your speaker because there's a little bit of feedback in the background. So that would be very helpful. If you, not you, Mark, we're counting on you.
Okay.
But that would be appreciated. Mark, how about yourself? You know, I think everybody's experience in the store is really where the focus has always been. But you know, we've all been forced to always consider different revenue streams. Are you doing anything differently, or have you changed the focus on your social media or e-commerce?
Yes, many things, Tom. So I myself have three businesses that we have gift, and then we have salon and spa, and then the third being a new store that I'm sitting in right now that we just opened 3 weeks ago, literally brand new brand called Mark Anthony's after my name. So we have salon and spa where you have touch and feel obviously every day with hair and except for David, no, and you know, you all, but touch, feel, shaving those heads and cutting, and then facials, spa end. So we had that side of the business. Then we had retail, which is also there selling shampoos, conditioners, which are essentials. So we took several marketing philosophies during this, the first week. Really, once we had about 4 days that I would say we went down 90% in sales. And it was definitely a shock, and we knew it was coming, and like, wow, you know, business has stopped, as we all pretty much hopefully saw, you know, some big downtrends, unfortunately. And where do we go? What's our next steps? In marketing, social media, obviously number one, then web. As David and all three of us spoke, you know, web is, it's a different type of business. The experience you have to make present and feel good. And then secondly, you know, how do you take the shipping and all the operational aspects, so you have experience and you have operations of the web beast, that is a whole different business in some realms. So we first launched social media right away, kept them in front, kept all the brands in front of their faces. Then we went to web. Within 72 hours, we launched a buying online for salon, for Christopher's, for gift. And within those 8 weeks, we nearly did almost 50,000 in 8 weeks on online sales just with Christopher's. So it was a good thing. It kept us healthy, kept us strong. And now that trend is changing for us. They're coming in store. They're feeling the experience, feeling safe. Having sanitation stations I had made at every location that have mask, gloves, and hand sanitizer with a sign saying these are our requirements, signs out front being hung, same aesthetic at each location, knowing that you're safe in any of our brands, and we want you to shop safe. That's our number one priority, or we will not open our door. So that's helped. But really just the past, 10 weeks, let's just say, transitioning those marketing philosophies, operations into online. That, I say online is definitely strong Amazon, as we all know, but it's really after people are in their homes and in their spaces, those four walls for so long, they want to get out. They can't, just like you were saying, David, they can't stay in that house for much longer or wherever they might be. They want to at least see some human life and laugh, which they can do online, but then they need to see, go shop. So.
I know David a little bit longer than you, Mark, but I trust my judgment about both of you is that you're highly competent as business people for sure, but you're also very warm. And I think the challenge when you in social media is I'm sure in both of your locations, in your stores, it's a very warm, inviting environment, and then trying to translate that same warmth and experience in a different media is really where the challenge is. But you're both up to that challenge. I guess what I'm referring to is Peanuts, because what you've been able to do with that character is transfer that in-store warmth into a much colder medium. Just talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So, I mean, I come from a large corporate background prior to opening this business 7 years ago, and we were all about welcoming people into our business as we welcome people into here like we would our home. And so the entire experience when you come in the store is about setting us apart from who's selling the same exact product in town, and how do we make that a personal experience. So people laugh, but we have a bar cart in the store that you can choose a cocktail from. It makes people slow down. It makes people buy more. It makes people shop. Sometimes we will have a specialty drink of the day. Other times it's wine, but treating people as you would when they come into your home. And so, yes, there's an added expense to that, but I would argue that spending that expense ends up getting us a customer that stays longer in store, looks harder at our product, and purchases more because of that. Not every single time, but definitely have a return business because of it. Peanut and the rest of the staff are part of that puzzle. So it's really welcoming people again like they want to be welcome. He recognizes people. We, interior decor is fragile and can be not so kid friendly. We try to make the store as kid friendly as possible. Kids can dictate where their parents go a lot of the time. So we have lollipops for the kids when they come in the store, just like we have a cocktail cart for the adults, and we have dog bones for the dogs when they come in the store, and everybody is offered one of those pieces of the pie that just as you would when they come into your home, we do the same for the folks when they come into the store. And so we've tried to take those now, being pushed into the electronic medium, saying, how do we talk about those more? How do we, for people who follow you first on social media and haven't yet been in the store, how do we create that? So we're trying to, as I think everybody is, use video more, use Peanut's personality more. I mean, he's an improv actor and teacher, so he'll do about anything that we put him up to. So you'll see, if you go to our Instagram or Facebook page, you'll see some crazy videos of Peanut. And we have a lot of fun, and we're relaxed, and it's not a stuffy atmosphere, though we sell product. We've got pieces of stuff in here that are over $8,000 a piece. So it's not, we're not selling cheap souvenir stuff. It's expensive items, but we're making them feel like, and the way we merchandise it is like they see it in their home, and that's important. And I think it's an important part of the puzzle. We very rarely display items in our store in the packaging that it comes in. So we remove all the packaging that it comes in, and we display it in a different way. And what we've found is by doing that, one, they can't immediately look at the brand and go online and look at Amazon and find that product cheaper. But two, it gives them a sense of how they would use that product in their personal lives. And I think that's important piece to our puzzle here is how to make that a reality for them. How do they see using that product and use it once they got home? And so it makes people buy more. I'm convinced of it. And we changed the floor drastically in store, probably at least every month, if not more than that. And so, we move physical pieces of furniture and desk, our front desk around, and we do things to make people believe we have all new inventory when it's the same inventory. It's just been rearranged in a new way. It forces you move one thing and it forces you to move the entire store, which is not a bad thing because it makes people see things they haven't seen before.
Absolutely. Hey, David, to that, it's funny how you were saying that people want to see the real life of your brand, of my brand, of everyone. They want to see those real life situations. And what I was doing starting week 1 of COVID, I call it, was I literally, for the one person I kept on my staff when this hit, we have an older demographic of our staffing at Christopher's. Mark Anthony's a little bit younger, but at Christopher's, older, and I wanted to make sure they were safe. So I kept them home. And I laid out every week for my operations manager that I kept on staff. He worked in store and shipped out from store along with myself. And we did a live every day that, like you said, David, it's a lot of work. Did a live every day. And I said, James, his name is James. I said, James, make it fun. People want to see, a show. We use another word in front of that, but they want to see a show. And make it, one day we had grilling in the kitchen area of our store. I had him bring out a little grill, just a new grill, and we put flameless LED candles in the bottom of it. And, he was cooking, meat on it and just, animating that lifestyle, and people were just loving, liking. It's all those things that you have to, how can you be unique and all of that with social media and doing those videos on all platforms.
And I think if you don't have somebody that is good on camera or doesn't like to be on camera, it's important to find the person that has the personality to do that people can relate with. And then I would say use them a lot. Like if they like doing it, use them a lot, because that's what, today's generation is all about. These kids of today, they watch TikTok, they watch Instagram, they watch YouTube. And so that's helped us a lot. And so it's not who I am, but it's, one of my employees, thank God, is great at it. Some of the others don't mind getting on there, but it's not for me, but hey, it's working, and it's bringing a relatable part of the business to them.
Absolutely.
So Amanda's asking, what have been our top product categories since opening? I would, it's all regular customers, so it's pretty scattered in what we're finding. We have a pretty close-knit community in St. Pete, and a big part of our business is customizing items that are St. Pete specific. And so because there's a lot of town pride right now with what's going on in not only the economy, obviously, but with COVID and with the protests, we found that people are buying more of the St. Pete specific things. And we made a St. Pete Strong shirt, shortly after COVID began and we shut down. And we redid our entire front window to say St. Pete Strong, and that's been a popular item. People have really, anything that has St. Pete on it right now is really, and is personalized to the city, is really doing well, I'd say.
Amanda, our top categories here in the Midwest, in St. Louis, Missouri, number 1, hand sanitizer. We have sold over now, I just checked before this morning, we have sold over 6,200, 6,272, I believe, hand sanitizers, 2-ounce bottles. We sold, my guess would be probably at least half of them online. Every order we shipped out a free hand sanitizer for like a week promotion. Whatever you would order over a $25 purchase, we threw a hand sanitizer in. That cost $1.70.
Did you sell sanitizer before, Mark?
We did not. Well, actually, yes, we did. We actually had an antiseptic, one brand of an antiseptic one that, we sold okay. It was just on a shelf, little square footage area. It was with essential oils and everything. But week after COVID, with my salon, we brought in a line from the salon world that it was so hard to obviously get hand sanitizer. We got it within probably 3 days, and then we just started pushing it out. And the night that we got it in, when we put it online, we sold over 300 and something bottles just that first night online. So the online presence, once again, was just driving that. Facebook and Instagram. Most of our customers seem to be Facebook followers, and then we have Instagram, but first and foremost, Facebook. But top categories, hand sanitizer, and then we went into care. We went into lotions, soaps. A vendor of ours, Michelle Design Works, we sold just of 1 cent. We sold over 400 foamers within the 8 weeks of just 1 cent. That was curbside and or online. So those were soap, sanitizers, and then we went into like home decor, a little bit of frames, stuff, care packages people were sending, and we were sending to people across the country, from California to probably the parts in Naples in Florida. Mary. Oh, customer rewards programs. Mary, thank you. Our rep from St. Louis. So, yes, Mark, so Christopher's and now the new Mark Anthony's, we have a reward program. You're part of our family, and we have 25% off one item a month. There's a few vendors that we exclude due to contractual stuff, but 98% of our vendors, we do 25% off one item a month. They always buy 2, 3, 5 items, but it's, they use it every month. Beginning of the month, the first at 7:03 a.m., that email goes out through our reward system, and it keeps track of all of our customers, of who's used it and whatnot. We have now over 22,000 people in our rewards program with Christopher's, and then now Mark Anthony's. They're part of that family, and they are part of it here as well. So with this new business, that has tremendously helped. And for a brand new business, we're on track around, I believe now, $1,600 a day with the new business of Mark Anthony's for 3 weeks. Each day we're averaging that in sales, but people are coming from Christopher's down a block and a half to Mark Anthony's to shop this store.
We don't have a rewards program in the sense that most people think of it. We have a VIP program where people sign up for our emails and things of that sort, where we reward them through that. But no, we don't have a formal rewards program for how much they spend, things of that sort. Within our VIP program, we can look at how much they spend and send out things accordingly. So for our top buyers, we can send out added discounts, first release stuff that we get, first look at it, first purchase of it, that kind of thing. But no formal, like, if you spend this much, you get this many points rewards program.
And ours is just literally one a month. You just, no matter if you're a brand new guest, we welcome you to the family and we sign you up. And then every month after that, you get that reward in your email to use. And they just give us their email address and we apply it to one item, not the entire sale is the key. Now, David, on your VIP, so your top, let's say, 5% or 10% of your customers that spend some dollars with you all, how do you do once a month? Do you have a system, or no, you just whenever you?
No, we sporadically do it. I mean, I would say on average it's once a month that I'm sending them something. But no, there's no set, depends on what time of year it is, what's going on. Holidays, obviously, they get more communication, that kind of thing. Somebody just asked if we are going to continue taking things out of the package. So part of our reopening strategy was we have signs throughout the store that are branded that say, please limit your touching of product unless you are intending to buy the product. And so we have seen a huge decrease in people touching product in general. So we have hand sanitizer stations, as Mark talked about earlier. The person ringing people up have on masks that are working within the store, and then we ask them to limit, and we have a sign when they come in, limit touching, and we have signs around the store that help them remember we're a touch society. A lot of people are into texture and touch and feeling product. We don't have a problem, but with them doing it if they're intending to buy it. But no, I don't see us changing the strategy of how we display things. They seem to have adapted pretty quickly to not doing that. The nice part is you get a lot less messed up displays than typically you do. So you're straightening a lot less, but people struggle, they'll keep their hands in their pockets and say, it's so hard not to touch stuff, but they're respectful of it. They get it.
Yes, absolutely. We have not had, David, I'll let you answer that first.
We're still assessing if we are going to market. I think probably we will go to Vegas market. Just timing seems a little better, but I think we're going to do a market. We're just trying to figure out which one. But yeah, we will go to market in that time window.
We're assessing right now. We are not. I know that. One of my buyers, myself, we are staying here for right now, but assessing. Hopefully, the next 2-3 weeks we'll have that determination. But just trying to decide, what's the safest and for all of our employees and staff.
I think one of the most difficult things is, as you slow down, obviously, and using less inventory, is figuring out how much inventory we think we'll need for the holiday compared to normal. I mean, it was like a well-oiled machine before. I could tell you exactly what I needed to spend to get us through the holiday and have enough product to make it through Christmas. And so now it's you're second guessing those typical, what do we need to spend? How much product do we need? How much, we sell a lot of ornaments. Do we need the same amount that we typically purchase? Those kind of things. So
your equation that you use to have that healthy medium, as we always say in purchasing, what was it before and what is it trending towards now for that buying parameter?
It's really hard. I don't, they're buying similar things. I would say that the difference is, when you look at Christmas ornaments, if I had 900 Christmas ornaments, that seemed to be our magic number, that we would be set and good without too much left over from the year, to roll over or to put at drastic discounts. So this year, I think it probably is going to be way less. I don't know why, but I just, it's going to depend on what's happening out there, but we need to make those buying decisions, obviously, pretty soon. So, I think I'd rather go in more conservative this year than have the same mentality. And then there's all the other product that we buy, right, for the holidays and things like that people buy for gift. But, I don't think that probably will shift, but I don't know. We're trying to talk through that and gain some insight as to where we think that'll head.
Absolutely. I just got out of a meeting this morning with our purchasing team, and one of the gentlemen I was speaking with, he said, I feel more than ever that people have been in their homes, the decor and whatnot. They're really striving for this holiday. One of our initiatives is with the influx of, as we don't know, where this is going and safety. How are we going to make our customer or our guest feel most welcomed? And they're out, but then they're at home mostly, probably during this holiday, is decor. Do you feel a trend up in decor and less in, gifting? Or it's hard to say, as we know, but
I haven't seen a shift in either or. We've seen pretty steady product mix going out the door and being purchased. During the shutdown, people were buying less expensive items. You know, so while we were shut down, we did a lot of gift basket kind of. If they bought raffle tickets, they could be entered for a gift basket. So they would only have a spend of say $5 for 5 raffle tickets to win a gift basket worth $500. You know, and it ended up making quite a bit of money. You know, during that shutdown. So that strategy used a lot more of our smaller product in order to get there, but I haven't seen people shift as much. I mean, people are still remodeling quite a bit. People are still buying home decor stuff.
Guys, I needed to, when you were talking about market, you got feedback again. It sounds like the cafeteria.
I'm not going to mute mine.
But, you know, it's the same thing that we're wrestling in from the supply side about markets, because right now, as I'm sure you've seen, that Dallas and Atlanta and now Los Angeles are all a lot more of August. You know, previously everything was in June and July, which gives the supply side time to place overseas orders to get receipt of it. If we're from your perspective, and certainly from ours, if we're going to wait till August to get a read on inventory, it makes it too late. So what we're advocating is that really consider doing your commitments, or at least your most important commitment, well before that time, because even if they're less attended, it's still going to be, you know, there's going to be a sort of a rush for the inventory that's available at that moment. So we're advocating to try and, you know, make those decisions, those buying decisions earlier, to make sure that you can get the just-in-time inventory that you're looking for. That's just my
and it's hard for me because, as Tom knows, I don't buy. I hate to buy Christmas in January, so I buy Christmas in July, ornaments and stuff like that. And so it's worrisome because, you know, now we'll be going end of August. We need the product, you know, by October, beginning of October at the latest. It's, you know, I'm trying to figure out, okay, how do I buy and not see the product, which I'm not a huge fan of. I'm a big fan of going to market, feeling the quality. So I'm relying a lot more on, I'd say, vendors that I know the quality's there and ordering those in advance. So they're going to be my, you know, count on product prior to market, and then finding new vendors would be the focus of going to market when I'm there. So I may spend less time at market this time around. I don't know. Again, I'm trying to quickly assess and figure out how I need to handle that.
Very interesting. And David, we always buy from purchasing a store. Christopher's was this year's 25 years old, and now we are the previous owner, Chris. He always bought in January. So, which I was not the biggest fan of, but I always trended what he did because of success. So I've always bought in January, probably about 80% of the inventory. Well, now, as you're saying, you know, next year we'll probably buy in middle of the year, especially with, you know, trends and sales. It's a whole new beast, and you have to re-educate yourself and kind of make certain tweaks to make sure that, you know, you're in line with your OTBs and all of that.
I've never had a problem buying Christmas in July as far as stock availability and things of that sort, because people ask that question. But I can't even look at the stuff in January. I'm so sick of looking at it from in the store that I can't even think about it. But for some people, it's front of mind. They know what they have before they put it up, so it works for them in January. I get so sick of the stuff by
exactly.
I can't look at it anymore. So
it almost makes more sense. You'd have more of a clear focus in middle of the year. You know, it's not a year away almost, you know, that you're thinking of. You can really know and not forget. Now I'm looking at all these orders that I placed and realigning them. That's a hard one just by looking at little pictures.
Right. And we take inventory before, if we have stuff left over that we're going to use the next year, we take inventory before putting it in storage, and then we know what we're starting with as a basis in July. But typically we buy in July for holiday.
Very interesting.
I don't think I will. We put it out pretty early. So our rule of thumb is to have it out the week of Halloween. So we're already pretty early. I found there was one year where we didn't put it out the week of Halloween, and we sold probably 25% less ornaments. Since we're a tourist town, we get requests for ornaments all the time. We don't have them out all the time, but we put them out really early. So I don't think I'll put it out any earlier. I'm just hoping and praying there's not a second shutdown, obviously, like everybody else is on here.
What is your top ornament vendor?
Cody Foster probably is our one that we buy the most from.
Ours is Christopher Radko.
The most important, I'd say quality and price point. So do I feel like that quality can bring the price point that the store has? And is it something new and different and innovative? So those are kind of my three filters that I use when I look at product. You know, I'm big into, like I say, not touching things is big right now, but I'm big into feeling the product, the weight of it, the quality of it, and making sure that, you know, we can get the money that we're going to ask for it on the back end here. So, but innovative new product obviously is constant search for. Mark?
Yes, same here. Quality is our number one priority. All depending on the selection, but number one is quality. Price, as you say, you know, it all depends on the product itself, and the vendor relationship. I always say I've dealt with some vendors whose company amazing, but other vendors we have dealt with, you know, it all depends on the relationship that you build with the vendor. I've had first, you know, shipping issues, and as we all talked in January, you know, shipping is a big thing sometimes right now more than ever. Shipping's taking longer, but vendors are doing most that they can to get that product out in a timely manner with these shutdowns and everything. And that's what's really going to dictate as well. I think a lot of our vendor relationships is if we can't get the products, you know, a week or 2 weeks later, that's really going to affect us, which normally, you know, a week, you can deal with that too. So, you know, what you deal with. But right now, we have to try to get every sale in a timely, safe fashion. And that vendor relationship is huge, but then quality. If, you know, you get half of your pallet and some of the stuff's broke, that's an issue. And then reshipping it out, and they're now, instead of their week lead time, it's 2 weeks. I've had vendors now that are 3 weeks out. I just got an email today. It's going to be 3 weeks on underwear. And I'm like, well, we can't wait that long for undies. We need them, you know, next week. So we're working today to get that out. So. I myself, Susan, yes, thank you for that. So minimums, I have noticed there some vendors, there's minimums are not even a term. They're like, how can we help you? It's not even a question of minimum. We've had some reorders, you know, of candles that, you know, usually it's 6 or 12. We've done 4. We've done 2 more expensive candles. So I've seen a trend that minimums, some companies yes, some companies no, but they've been very accommodating to that.
Not having been in this industry before 7 years ago, I've never gotten minimums. I don't understand why they exist, and why you just wouldn't sell to people wanting to buy that have the licenses to do so. So I am against minimums, but we'll work around them. Breaking cases isn't as important to me. I can't stand that one last item on a shelf that never seems to sell. So I typically want more product than normal. So like 1 to 2 items doesn't help me unless it's a big piece. And typically if it's a big piece of decor, the minimum is 1 anyway. So I haven't found that to be restrictive in any way, or I haven't thought about changing that strategy, but I don't get minimums from a vendor perspective.
Yeah, you had an entrance, well, like maybe into the house from the outside.
So we started, we changed our hours. So we used to be open late on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday till 8 p.m. When we opened up our first week, we were open only 11 to 5. Our typical hours would have been 11 to 6 and then 8 on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We've stretched that now because we saw a need to 6 p.m. We haven't gone to 8 p.m. A lot of our restaurants are still closing 8 or 9 o'clock. So I don't see us opening back up till 9 p.m. One of the hardest struggles I know that the area is having, and I think a lot of people are having, is getting employees that are on unemployment back to work because they're making more on unemployment right now in a lot of cases. And so I know a lot of people have struggled with that. Our unemployment system in Florida is very messed up. So a lot of people that have been out of work, unfortunately, for weeks on end and months on end have not even received a check yet for unemployment. So, but I know there are people out there, especially the service industry, that are struggling with people saying they don't want to come back because they're making more on unemployment at this point.
David, how many employees did you have to furlough or whatnot during this time? Any or?
4 people were furloughed during the shutdown.
And how many did you have total in your?
7 total in the store.
Okay, in the store.
Yeah.
We had 14 and we kept 4 on staff. So we cut 10. We did not have them, not as of yet. They're still on temporarily, we're hoping. Hours here in St. Louis, Missouri, very interesting. We obviously cut hours. We try to make it simpler. Our normal hours were Monday through Friday from 10 Monday through Wednesday from 10 to 6 p.m. Then Thursday, 10 to 7. And then we did Fridays 10 to 6 and then Saturdays 10 to 5. So I said, and then Sundays we're open from 11 to 4. Well, I said, let's make it easy. Let's do Monday through Saturday 10 to 4. And then Sundays we did noon to 3. We're getting ready next week. I'm hoping we're having our second phase in what the county is going to allow and seeing what happens and trends there. We're hoping to extend to 5 and we might go 10:30 to 5:30 or something like that, but we're reviewing that over the next couple days, week, and then going to release our new schedule and hope to get back, to other philosophies.
So most of our increase during closing was from our virtual events and our our raffle drawings that we did versus online sales, though online sales increased versus what we were at before, which was pretty non-existent. Those online sales have tapered back off again. We haven't seen those stay higher since reopening. I mean, most people that are coming out. What we gained from the virtual events, though, and what we've learned is that a lot of people from out of town viewed those virtual events and purchased stuff. So we were shipping out quite a bit of product. So it was a way to reach your customers that in a tourist town that have come in once, love the store, followed you on social media, but don't get back in to view your product, especially when we have over, I think, 6,000 SKUs now. So we changed product quite a bit. And so, they like to see the product. So that helped us actually gain out of town revenue that I don't think we get on a regular basis, in the normal scenario. So I'd say that part of the virtual event, we need to find a way keep that going. And that's why we got to figure out what is the amount of times that we do that a year and when are they done. I think is really narrowing down the strategy for getting back to that.
Absolutely. I'd say first and foremost for us, it was online. Then it was the lives that we were doing every day. Now we're down to lives once a week for Christopher's. And we are doing every Friday, we're doing a live. But the lives, definitely people would call in, are purchased through private messenger, but mostly calling in the phones. Literally, I put 2 phones at my home. I had a phone every location. I was in our warehouse and I was at my home, and I had phones at each location, always our warehouse, but I put them in my home as well. So I had set homes and would just take calls because we had so much overflow for 2 people, 3 at times, 3 people to handle. So I was writing down credit cards on sheets of paper and processing and shredding, and then shipping out from warehouse and also store level, mostly store level. We had 2 designated areas in our store we were shipping out of while the store front doors were closed. We then, that was through live, but shopping online with our website, Christopher'sGifts.com, was number 1 now. Sales have went all mostly into store. Actually today we got 3 orders online so far today. So it's just it's the roller coaster, but mostly right now it's in store sales. We missed Mother's Day. Was definitely a eye opener as we opened our storefront doors with our advising group and our attorneys on staff. I opened Mother's Day, and it was unbelievable. We were only down like 20% for Mother's Day. That Saturday before Mother's Day, it's a big day for us, but we were only turned like that Saturday 20%. So I was happy about that. But then the week following was definitely depressing. But you always say there's negatives, turn into positives real quick. And what can you do? Online definitely helped. David, today, where would you say with sales? Are you all down in sales right now, or?
Yeah, overall, if you average out the week, I mean, again, there's days where we're up. We're now that we've opened back up, we're about 5% down versus prior year currently, which isn't bad. I mean, I'm pretty happy with it. When we were closed, there was there were weeks where we were 50% down. So, I'm pretty happy with 5% at this point.
That's huge. Yeah, right now
it really comes in waves though. I mean, like we'll have a great Saturday and then Sunday, nobody will walk in the store. It's very odd.
Interesting. Yeah, like today, tomorrow, and Saturday and Sunday are good days, and then Monday, Tuesday, on average, are not the best. Wednesday it starts picking up. But right now we're trending with Christopher's that we are down probably 30% on the year. So, definitely that end of March, April, and then May hit us hard.
We were strong going into that. So we're still actually about 3% up for the year.
Okay. There's one thing.
Mark, do you want to?
Yeah, Roxanne, I think as far as territory managers, being making sure if there's small orders that we need to place to have them ready to ship out. Special orders, that one item that we sold and the guest needs 2 more for our gift or whatever it might be, that we have those, that reps are checking in. I always say, we don't have to be in person, but a text or an email or a phone call, my preference is texting. Having my reps texting me has been crucial, and keeping our buying stronger.
I do most of my buying, like 99% of my buying at market. So I don't utilize my rep that much in between markets. So I think just being there if we need you and being available and obviously helping out when you can. So I don't think there's a lot of need for product right now either, though, because I think, obviously being shut down for a while, if you had any amount of product going into that, you're probably not buying new product. We've just started buying again some stuff that we were, popular items that are selling down that we need to replenish, but we had a lot of product going into the shutdown.
And have you kept your buys? Have you kept them? Like we just had 12 or 13 boxes coming yesterday for different, 4th of July, for different stuff like that. Are you keeping those orders coming, or are you?
Yeah, I haven't canceled any orders. So yeah, we still have stuff coming in on the daily that, we had ordered before or have ordered since.
All right. Well, earlier, about 53 minutes ago, you both mentioned that you were opening up new businesses, which was great to hear. I mean, it's great to your confidence. But do you have any plans for cross marketing those businesses to help support and generate interest in all of the business and help them be collaborative financially?
So for me, mine was a little different. I'm opening a set of bars, actually. One's a speakeasy, one's going to be more of a dance bar, and then I have interior design, and then the store currently. So I don't know what I'm doing to myself. I'm retired. I keep telling myself, but I seem to want to work more. So it was a big thought. Do I cross brand? Do I do it? And so we started cross branding about 3 weeks ago for the speakeasy that'll open in about 4 weeks. And we've seen a phenomenal reception to cross branding. People love the store, and so they're ready to kind of experience the next level of it. So it was the right decision, definitely. On the new website for the speakeasy, we have the store. Visit, our other brands. We have, we'll do the same on the store's website for there. So it's helped a lot, actually. I was a little worried about doing that in the beginning, but I'm glad I did it because it definitely helped boost. I mean, we immediately are on social media between the two accounts in 3 weeks at 2,000 followers. So that's a pretty amazing run. Now we have almost 9,000 followers on Facebook for the store and probably 2,600 Instagram followers. We have a little older clientele than the bar will, so it's kind of shifted. So we have more followers on Instagram for the bar than we do on Facebook. So it's interesting to watch those dynamics play out. But definitely cross branding is happening, and I'm glad we did it because it's working well.
Absolutely.
And right now, you can't see it, but I'm wearing a T-shirt for the speakeasy that's opening in the store, and all my employees are. So that the people ask about it and know it's coming.
How about you, Mark?
So it's funny. So this Christopher's was number one in my portfolio 5 years ago. That has been established, like I said, for 25 years. Then we're going into Salon Spa World. That has now been 2 years ago. And a lot of people knew, we were associated with Christopher's a little bit, and now more than ever they are. We are doing cross branding through a couple channels. So our websites, we are getting ready to launch 2 new websites, one for the new store that we just opened, a new phase of that. And then we are also Christopher's, you'll be able to shop all locations from all stores. So investment, but it's happening. And then in every bag, we're handing out, shop with our family, a flyer, in every bag that goes across stores. So they know addresses, websites, emails, we're here for you. Be safe. So love the t-shirt idea. That's a great idea, David. So, but yes, so we basically just cross-channeling, and our employees are talking about each other, all of our family, and it's really helped.
We also put up a branded sign by the register that has now everybody's camera, I don't know if you know it or not, can do a QR code a lot easier than they did long ago. So we actually have a sign about the bar, the speakeasy opening, and then we have 2 QR codes they can scan to follow us on Instagram or on Facebook. So they choose, and the team, the staff has done a great job talking about it, getting them to, follow us down there. So it's worked out really well.
Where do these QR codes link you to your social media?
So to our social media account. So now if you take your camera and you scan a QR code, right at the top of your screen, it'll say open up, wherever it's taking you to, where before you had to have a QR code app and all this other stuff. Now the camera will take you kind of right there. So it takes them immediately to our Instagram and Facebook page for the speakeasy, and they can like it right away from here.
Very nice. Okay.
For all of our the people in the audience, I'm sure they'd like to follow you or like you. Why don't you share your Facebook handles, your Instagram handles, and your website? Mark, why don't you give it to us first?
So Christopher's is Christopher'sGifts.com, and on Facebook, Christopher's Gifts, and then Instagram is Christopher's Kirkwood. Then Mark Anthony's that just opened. That is Mark Anthony's Gifts, also known as My Gifts. I make gifts on Facebook and Instagram. And then St. Louis Salon and Spa. So that is STL Salon and Spa.com. And then both for Facebook and Instagram.
Mine's pretty easy. It's right behind me. On Facebook, it's Zazood, Z-A-Z-O-O-D. And on Instagram, it's Get Zazood, G-E-T-Z-A-Z-O-O-D. And then if you want to follow the speakeasy, it's the St. Pete. So just the Saint, S-A-I-N-T, S-T-P-E-T-E on either Instagram or Facebook. So you can follow the speakeasy as well.
And one little known fact, David, you might want to, before we sign off, what is the inspiration behind Zazood? What does Zazood mean?
So I live on an island that out on Treasure Island, and we used to call it Drunk Island, or they still do call it Drunk Island. So everybody out there are drinkers. And when we had this code word, when we'd see drunk people stumbling down the street, we'd say they were Zazood. So when we went to open a business that was going to do multiple things, we do events planning, we do interior design, and we have the store, we wanted it to kind of transcend kind of all 3 of those. So we said, why don't we just call it Zazood? And so hence why the bar cart and now the speakeasy, it just all kind of works together.
Well, thanks for that. It's a lot of fun. You guys have been great. I appreciate your time. It's been a lot of fun, very educational. Appreciate it. And
thank you. Thanks for having us.
You bet.
Thank you so much. Everyone have a great day and be safe.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks.